So, Nancy, let's move on to, there's a new thing that came out. The BBC is reporting the autism rates for school kids in Ireland. Did this shock you right out of your skin?
1 in 20. And they believe that may even be an underestimate because they took these numbers during the pandemic.
And this is people not believed to be on the spectrum. These are kids with a diagnosis.
Right.
1 in 20.
So 13,000 children in Ireland between the ages of 4 to 15 have a diagnosis of autism. An estimated 4.5% of the school population, which is just a stunning number.
Yeah, and previously, the last time that they're quoting that this was taken was 2009, where it was 1.2%. And to give people an idea, I mean, in our lifetimes, I don't know what the number was when you first heard about autism, Nancy, but I recall because I had a college roommate that right out of college, she had 2 kids and one of them was on the spectrum. So she was a solid 18 years ahead of me in everything that she did with autism.
Right.
And I remember when her son was being diagnosed that I was hearing a number like 1 out of 100,000.
Right.
And then it was suddenly 1 out of 10,000. And I remember feeling like I was being poked in the shoulder. When it went from 1 out of 100,000 to 1 out of 10,000, I was like, what's that? Whoa, what the what? Like, that's but it had nothing to do with me.
Right.
Nothing to do with me. And then when my son was diagnosed, we were at 1 in 110. Where were you when?
When Wyatt was diagnosed, we were 1 in 110 as well.
And but very briefly, it went to 1 in 86. And then, we went to 1 out of 54, although they were saying around that time that it was 1 in, I don't want to misquote, but it was 1 in 40 something school children.
Right.
We are expecting any day now that this CDC is going to put out new prevalence numbers.
Right.
I just need for everybody to know, and we are getting some people to come on the show to talk about this, but they're going to come out with the new numbers, and our expectation is they're going to say that the prevalence has changed and it's not as prevalent as we previously thought, and yippee, we've stemmed the tide and it's not going up. I want everyone to know that they are not using the same metric, that they changed the way they take the data. So whatever the number comes out, you cannot compare it to any previous number because no data was taken in this way before. And we're going to have experts on to talk about how they change.
Yeah, Shannon, you think it's going to be a more favorable number?
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. But whether it is or it isn't, we all need to know ahead of time, because the rhetoric, what the press is going to say is one thing. But we all need to be cognizant of the fact that these new numbers are going to come out and they are fresh numbers, and you should never compare apples to oranges. So, if I tell you, that you have $145 in your account and you go, okay, I have $145 in my account, and then you add 25 to it and you're like, okay, I have this much money in the account. But then if I suddenly change it and I'm talking about pounds, and I don't tell you how many pounds you had before and the rate has changed, you couldn't compare that to how much money you had in your account. You would want more data to be able to compare, because you can't compare the two. They change at different rates. And so I just need everybody to be aware that when these numbers come out, you're going to hear things in the press, but we need to be responsible and diligent and put them through filters to be able to compare the apples to the oranges. Right. So just put that out to people. But isn't that stunning? 1 in 20 in Ireland.
Right. And of course, in some countries, like in South Korea, it's some ridiculously insane number, like 1 in 6.
And we see that it's not equal and even here in the United States either. When they take the data from different states, some states have a much higher number. Now, you know, we can all argue, is that because they're more diligent? Like New Jersey always has one of the highest rates. And people say, what is that? Is that New Jersey takes the numbers more diligently? Or do they have more factories that are putting more environmental things in? It's like, you know, like what is the reason for this?
I've
and
often
there's
heard
not
it said about New Jersey that the reason their numbers are so high is because it has a lot of treatment and for autism, and a lot of families have moved there, so there's a higher cluster of autism.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So, you know, it's like what is causing that? And but I want to move on because I want to make sure we leave lots of time for Alex. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.